Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. A really troubling day today. First, we hear reports that Iran has been activating sleeper cells, including obviously here in the U.S. In fact, I believe this is this is as a result of what we are doing over in Iran. And maybe letting all of these people in was not a good idea, because we heard that Iran was like, all right, sleeper cells activate. And now it appears that we are under attack from within. Those sleeper cells were waiting for their moment, and their moment is now. So now we have a suspect who drove a truck into a synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, and opened fire. That suspect was killed, and the temple actually housed a preschool. Now all of the children are safe. They have been moved out. There has been no reporting as of the time of this taping that anyone other than the suspect was injured. And, I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to read between the lines here that there was a guy who intentionally crashed his car into a Jewish synagogue in Michigan and started shooting. I think we all know what's going on here. I don't think we have to ponder too hard to understand that right after Iran was like, hey, sleeper cells activate, now all of a sudden you have people who, again, the police said they intentionally ran their car into the synagogue and opened fire, which obviously you open fire intentionally every single time, but they intentionally ran their, it is the same song and dance every single time. Oh, gee, I wonder what the motive was. There was another one, shooting at Old Dominion University, listen, the more that comes out about this particular story, the more questions I have, because this one takes the cake. All right. This is Norfolk, Virginia, of course, home to the world's largest Navy base, has a very big military presence. And the suspect has been confirmed as Mohammed Jalloh. This is, as Carol Markowitz points out, the same person who was previously convicted of providing support to ISIS. Okay? What are we doing here, guys? What do you mean he was previously convicted of this and he was a free man? Well, I have some freaking questions. He was a former Army National Guardsman, sentenced to 11 years, again, for attempting to provide material support to ISIS. He was released in 2024. He got 5 years of supervised release. By the way, I guess he was on his best behavior, because the timeline not matching up for 11 years. But, terrorists get good behavior. He was really, really super sweet in prison, I guess. And so he was back on the streets. Now, here is the question I have. Look at this. He was born in Sierra Leone, but he is now a U.S. citizen, which I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that probably his parents were not U.S. citizens who just happened to have him in Sierra Leone and came here. The odds are that this guy was, of course, a naturalized citizen. So tell me how in the hell a person who was not born here, who is not from here, who is a foreign national, who was just natural, tell me how you get to keep your citizenship after being convicted of being a terrorist. How does that make sense? Here's what else I read about this man. He actually, when he was convicted the first time, back in 2016, when the original, news press release came out that Carol Markowitz found, Within that press release back in 2016, it says that this man actually was telling the confidential human source, he was actually telling him that they should plan an attack during the month of Ramadan. Hello? Well, oh, that's right now. So you mean to tell me this guy already served time, pled guilty for terrorism, for buddying up with ISIS, 5 years of supervised release, we're told that he has, and nobody thought to track this guy during the month of Ramadan, in which he already said that they should plan an attack? Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? What happened? Where was the breakdown? How many more naturalized U.S. citizens are here right now who have already pled guilty or done time for literally being a terrorist, and they're just still here? What are we doing, guys? Now, I gotta tell you, this is happening in places like Michigan, obviously. This one took place in Virginia. I gotta tell you, New York City, there is an alarm that should be sounding for New York City. That one's gonna be the next domino to fall, because just as we're talking about all of this, are you guys, are you with me now on like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be importing a bunch of Muslims who like really want to destroy the West? Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe we should stop doing that. We definitely should stop electing them as mayors. We should probably not do that, because just days after these radical Islamic terrorists tried to kill people in the city for being anti-Muslim, Muslim commie mayor Zohran Mamdani thought it would be a great idea to host a Ramadan celebration in City Hall. So now your taxpayers in New York City are going to fund these people like eating on the floor. You thought that this was a first world country? Apparently, we don't like it being a first world country, and we're just importing people to eat on the floor. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why is taxpayer money going to host a Muslim holiday? A Muslim holiday. And by the way, if you guys missed my Come and Take It episode this week, it is infiltrating everywhere, because Fort Hood is also doing a cute little celebration, Ramadan Iftar. And they remind everyone that Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So I want to make sure we're all clear that this is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and Islam is incompatible with the West. It is incompatible with Western civilization, and it always comes to conquer. Look it up. It always comes to conquer. It is not here for peace. And they will use and they will weaponize your freedom of religion and your freedom of speech and your Christian faith, and they will use it against you until they get the power. And when they get the power, you're screwed. The only peaceful Muslim is a bad Muslim. I know. Everyone's like, but Muslims are peaceful, but they are the religion of peace. I know that that's what they've drilled into you. I'd like to just point out to you that the video that I just showed of Zohran Mamdani hosting Iftar at the City Hall, in that video, one of the Muslims was flashing the Islamic State salute. Oh, cool. That's great. City Hall. Yay, ISIS. That's great. This is the same salute that the terrorist from this weekend flashed after he tried to blow people up. There he is, in cuffs. He's like, woo! Yeah, ISIS. Loud and proud, baby. Do you understand the significance of this yet? Do you understand what is to come if we don't get these people out of our country? Do you understand that the floodgates have been opened? And when it comes to New York City, this simping for terrorist sympathizers or terrorists themselves, not an isolated incident from Mamdani, okay? Because earlier in the week, he's just laying it all out there. He is showing you guys exactly who he is. He hosted Mahmoud Khalil. Now, that name may sound familiar to you. You may not remember who Mahmoud Khalil is. He actually, I'll remind you, is the guy who President Trump attempted to deport because he was out there supporting Hamas after October 7th on a college campus. Hamas, a terrorist organization, that's the guy who was supporting Hamas, and now he gets to have dinner with the mayor and his wife. So that's what terrorist sympathizers do. They pal around with each other. They're buds. They're thick as thieves. By the way, I think they are particularly close because you might recall his wife, Mamdani's wife, actually also supports terrorists. You guys remember this? His wife liked social media posts celebrating the October 7th attacks, celebrating Hamas sneaking in to Israel and killing innocent women and children in unspeakable ways. She liked it. She thought it was kind of cool. So it shouldn't come as a shock that Mahmoud Khalil is now besties with Zohran Mamdani. And it definitely shouldn't come as a shock when there is another attack in New York City, because it's all being celebrated. It's all being normalized. They want you to think that a bunch of third worlders who come here and eat on the floor is normal. That's what they want you to think. I mean, really? Can we just, they're going to talk shit about dogs while eating on the floor? What's dirtier? I'm just saying. Now, Coach Tommy Tuberville posted, it's just so succinct, but just so perfect. Just so perfect. The enemy is inside the gates. And it shows, it's a picture for those of you who are listening on podcast. It speaks for itself, but it actually also shows, 25 years apart, you have the World Trade Centers on fire, going down, the major explosion, all the black smoke billowing out. And then a side-by-side comparison of that compared to Zohran Mamdani sitting cross-legged on the floor of City Hall celebrating Ramadan. This is national suicide. This is national suicide. We've done this before. We've done this before, guys. There were, over 3,000 Americans who lost their lives on 9/11. You have first responders, some of whom are still alive and dealing with the ramifications of going in there and breathing all of that in, all of the toxic fumes, just so that they could try to save people. And here's the thing. It feels intentional. Let me tell you why. Because, let's just throw up this headline here. It says, Conquered NYC firefighters angry after bosses and Muslim firefighters make startling change to 9/11 memorial area for Ramadan. So you tell me, is this intentional? Let me know in the comments. They put their little prayer mats right in front of the memorial plaque. Right in front of the memorial. Is that coincidence or not? Coincidence or something more sinister? They're sending a message, guys. They are sending a message. This is not an isolated incident. I'm going to give you one more when I finish here. Mamdani was there to rub the firefighter's nose in his little Muslim celebration on Wednesday evening, this tweet says, FDNY. The New York City mayor joined the FDNY Islamic Society Why the is there an FDNY Islamic Society? Why does there need to be one of those? It's the fire department of New York. Why do you need an Islamic society? Just go put out fires. Fire Commissioner Lillian Bonsignor, Chief of Department John Esposito, and First Deputy Commissioner Daniel Flynn, along with FDNY members and guests for a Ramadan Iftar dinner at FDNY headquarters in the Commissioner Robert O. Lowry Auditorium. Let me give you another one. Do you think that this isn't intentional? You think that they didn't set up their mats intentionally in front of the plaque of the memorial to send a message? Let me give you one more. Go back to Fort Hood. Fort Hood, here in the state of Texas, 2009. They are no stranger to terrorist attacks because there was an Army psychologist, he was a doctor, who went and shot up. It was like the worst shooting on a military base in 2009. Do you know when they first had their Ramadan celebration on Fort Hood? 2010. The next year, the following year, they were like, we should do this right now, literally right now. All these curious coincidences end up taking place. I mean, the power is the point. Rubbing it in your face is the point because you can't say anything. Then you'll be labeled an Islamophobe. You can't say anything. They're just going to do it to you. They're going to rub your nose in it, and then they're going to dare you to say anything because you'll be cast out of society if you call them an Islamophobe. Well, I got news for them. There are a lot of people I know who are just done with this. I don't care what you call me at all. I don't care if you call me an Islamophobe. I don't care if you call me racist. I don't care if you can try to cancel me all you want. First of all, this is where I work, so good luck to ya. Second of all, I'll be damned if I am going to let these people, these goat from a third world country, come in here and transform my country and just expect me to sit here and take it? No. Now, here on Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, you can actually hear the real truth of what they are trying to do to this country. Unfortunately, CNN, they're just like, I guess they've accepted our new Sharia masters, they're here. We better go along. We better get along. And CNN now just flat out airing Iranian propaganda.
Mujtaba Khamenei, the leader of the Islamic Republic, in their first public speech.
Oh, okay. They literally broke into coverage for this. Breaking news, ran it straight for 4 minutes uninterrupted. I don't know what the hell this woman's saying. Uninterrupted. Very, very important that they get the Iranian propaganda message out to the American people. What would we do without CNN making sure that we get Iran's point of view? The people who chant death to America in the streets. They wanted to make sure that we got their point of view. Guys, it's enough already. There need to be more people willing to go out into the communities and say, I honestly don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you call me. I don't care about any of it. I'm not going to sit around and wait. I'm not going to be a sitting duck for the next suicide bomber to come to a city near me. Like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. It all stinks. The entire way of life, the religion, all of it is designed to kill. You, actually, the infidel. So unless you're planning on submitting to Allah and Muhammad, that pedophile piece of shit, I suggest that you get very brave and very bold and start making it very, very unwelcoming. Make it the most unwelcoming, hostile place for Islam to be. We can start there. Make sure that you subscribe, smash the like button. Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, and let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And then make sure that you go over to Sara Gonzales TX, our new YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well. We're pounding out content. Oh, phrasing, Sarah. We are churning out content. There you go. Over there, that is, some of it is exclusive. You're only going to see it there. So make sure that you go over there. And we talk a lot about the other invasion going on here in the state of Texas, which is H-1Bs. So make sure, go over there and subscribe. And I want to thank our sponsor, PreBorn. So PreBorn is doing God's work. They make it very, very easy to partner with them because all they're doing is they are, instead of being like Planned Parenthood Clinic, which is just like lying to women. They're saying you can't do it by yourself. You're never going to be able to do it alone. And also, it's just a clump of cells. Don't worry. You'll never regret it. Just let us suck that thing right up. Well, actually, PreBorn's network of clinics is showing these women the truth. It's very simple. Here's your baby on ultrasound. Here is the heartbeat. And in that moment, more than 80% of the time, when a mother sees her baby on a preborn ultrasound, she chooses life. This March, we're almost midway through. We are trying to save 6,800 babies, but it's going to take a whole lot of people saying yes every single day. So if you have $28 to spare, please help us save a baby's life. If you have, let's say, $140 to spare, that's going to help 5 babies' lives. You can donate securely by going to preborn.com/Sara. Maybe it's just one ultrasound and that's okay. I can't think of a better cause than saving a baby's life. That is preborn.com/Sara. You know, I mentioned the H-1B scams that we are uncovering over at the other YouTube channel. There's so much fraud. I honestly, I look around, I'm like, between the H-1B fraud and the truck driving fraud that my friend Savannah Hernandez uncovered and the Somalian fraud in Minnesota that Nick Shirley is uncovering, I'm like, I feel like there is a lot of money. There's so much money being wasted. If we could just like tamper down on a lot of this, especially with regard to the government payments that some of these people are getting, we may never have to pay taxes again because it's a lot. Let me introduce you to the latest type of scam, hospice fraud. If there is a way that these people can scam our government system, they're going to. If there is a way, there is a will, okay? And CBS News, actually, they did an accidental journalism. It probably never to be repeated again. But they decided, I guess, all right, I guess seems to be that people are really hungry for finding fraudsters and scammers. So I guess we'll do a little digging. We'll do we'll try, maybe. Just today, though. Probably not tomorrow. They said, we visited ground zero for hospice fraud. Los Angeles, California. So this is a CBS News analysis of records for every hospice operating in Los Angeles County. And they find indications of fraud are actually growing. They're growing. Now, to summarize, there are nearly 1,800 hospice facilities just in LA County. Over 700 of them showed indicators of fraud. That's not the statistic that you want. 1,800 hospice facilities? Really? In one county? By the way, 500 hospices registered within 3 miles of each other in Los Angeles. Oh, I'm sure that's totally legit. I mean, I realize LA is bustling. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's a lot of people. Apparently, there's a lot of old people dying. They need 500 hospices within 3 miles of each other. I mean, that is like a strip, a 3-mile strip of just hospice. Unless it's just all fraud. 89 providers registered to the same building within that 3-mile stretch. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just a lot of old people dying. 31% of all hospice agencies in the entire country are located in Los Angeles County. 31%. in one county, in one state, in the entire country. Auditors estimated that LA County hospices overbilled Medicare by $105 million in one single year. $105 million in 1 year. And you're going to be shocked to hear that a typical hospice in LA County billed Medicare roughly $29,000 per patient, which is more than double the national average. I'm sure it's totally. Hey, Gavin Newsom has the state of California under control. Now, I told you CBS did an accidental journalism, and they actually went out to check some of these facilities. Here was what they found.
So we went door to door, and what we found was empty office spaces, piled up mail, and not a single healthcare worker in sight. We wanted to get some answers. Okay, so my name is Adam Yamaguchi, and I'm with CBS News, and we're doing a story about hospice, and we're just trying to understand how and why there's so many hospice agencies in like a small cluster in LA County. Would love to speak with you. I'm sorry? You have no comment? Okay. All right.
Thank you, bye. Okay, thank you, bye. Isn't it so funny to see the CBS journalist? Like, he's just like, oh, I'm just a regular guy. I'm wearing a black tee. I'm wearing a black t-shirt. I'm just a regular guy, just knocking on doors. I'm like Nick Shirley. Now, funnily enough, another independent journalist actually sniffed it out before CBS, and here is what he found.
Printed sign closed for lunch. We will return shortly. It seems to be a pretty permanent looking, it's not just a sticky note. It does not seem like a temporary tag you just put on a door to say out to lunch. It says out to lunch. Okay. Well, I take it that they are still out to lunch. Maybe they're all out to lunch together. Great Life Hospice, okay. Is it a whole lunch outing amongst healthcare competitors? Hi.
No, this is not hospice. I don't.
This is not hospice? Okay, well, what kind of health do you provide here?
I'm sorry, you can't come.
But it says 9 to 5. Hello? It's open, so let's go in. I'm documenting this for my grandma because I'm trying to enroll her in healthcare. Oh, I'm not soliciting. I'm so convenient. Every possible healthcare need you could possibly need all in one building on one floor.
And nobody's home. It's actually like I'm laughing so that I don't cry because it's the exact same scam that I'm finding here, but a totally different scam. It's like, it's all a scam. Everything's a scam. The hospice, scam. The daycare, the Leering centers, scam. The H-1B workers, scam. It's all empty offices and piled up mail and locked doors and lights are out, nobody's home, no idea where these people actually are. It's like mind blowing. It's actually very blackpilling too. I was just speaking with one of my friends who is working on fraud as well. I don't know if she wants me to. It was a private conversation, so I won't say, but we were just talking last night and she's just like, it's just so blackpilling that there's so much fraud that we're uncovering. What is being done about it? Well, if you're listening to Gavin Newsom, January of this year, Gavin Newsom's office released a statement about the hospice fraud, and you're going to be shocked to hear, hey, what hospice fraud? He says, already done, already cleaned up. You're welcome. I already cleaned it up. In the 4 years since Governor Newsom's new hospice provider ban took effect, California has revoked more than 280 licenses. California didn't wait. We've identified and cracked down on the hospice fraud for years, taking real action to protect patients and taxpayers, except for that, the $105 million in a single year. Oopsies. But I mean, other than that, Then, you know, CBS News finding that about 42% of the nearly 1,800 hospices are still operating despite having indicators of fraud. But hey, what's 42%? You know, that's like a clerical error. That's like a margin of error, 42%. That could happen to anyone, right? That could happen to anyone. I mean, who among us hasn't accidentally, they'd be like, hey, I took care of all of it. It's all done. You're welcome. And you're like, oops, I overshot that by that much. Well, you know, maybe he's not good at math, right? This is what our country has to deal with. People coming into our country on a scam. People coming into our country because they want to conquer and dominate us, and having your tax dollars just continue going to fraud. It's very blackpilling. My hope is that the Trump administration kicks it into high gear here and let's do stuff about it, because what I'm seeing is, let's see, we now know that Barack Obama at the very tippy top was involved in the Russian collusion hoax. No accountability, no arrest there. We now see that H-1B's total scam. It's still happening. We've got all of the fraud that Nick Shirley uncovered in Minnesota. What's being done there? How many arrests have been made there? A few. How many? The whole thing is fraud. I'm just saying. I want my weekends back. I'm tired of having to do all of this research to go like bust down doors for all of these H-1Bs. I just would like my weekends back. I'd like the federal government to do their damn job. And I just like my weekends back. That's all I'm saying. All right. Make sure if you have not yet gone to Blaze TV to become a subscriber, you can, if you'd like, blazetv.com/Sara. You can use promo code Sara to save $20. That's $20. Times are tough. Apparently we're in a war. So blazetv.com/Sara, promo code Sara. Every once in a while, I like to check in on the enemy of the people. Yes, I do mean the New York Times, and they have these podcasts, and it's always good to hear what their arguments are and hear how retarded and brain dead they are. I do actually think that it's helpful to hear the other side. And I heard this story today.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders joined a growing coalition of Republican officials that are pushing to expand the influence of Turning Point USA in schools. The group was founded by Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist who was assassinated last year. Turning Point has said the goal of its chapters in schools is to foster students' interest in, quote, freedom, free markets, and limited government.
Okay, before I get into this, hold on. I've become distracted already. Is there a way that you can just put that picture up, Stephen? I notice at the it says, plus Planned Parenthood's new offering, Botox. Remember when they said that Planned Parenthood was just for like people who were becoming parents, and they definitely abortion was not like the big seller, and apparently now it's abortion and Botox. I don't know what that has to do with Planned Parenthood, but the New York Times now says Planned Parenthood is offering Botox. That is wild. Anywho, they were talking about TPUSA, and you may have noticed that they did speak. She was speaking quickly because I can't stand to listen to it at regular speed. So you're listening to it at the speed that I'm listening to it. So very benign, like, yeah, Turning Point USA wants to get kids involved. Like, there's no way the left could get mad about this, right?
Similar plans have been established in Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, and elsewhere. And there are now more than 3,000 high school chapters, called Club America, around the country. The partnerships do not appear to involve taxpayer money, and they're not mandates. But critics have raised concerns about the state's embrace of them, considering Kirk's hard right views, his dissemination of conspiracy theories, and his criticism of gay and transgender rights. They say the state partnerships could be seen as a kind of government seal of approval.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I regret to inform you it gets worse. All right. They did a write-up on this. And in this write-up, Charlie Kirk's group expands into high schools. GOP states are helping. Oh, no. Even in death, Charlie Kirk is the villain, according to the New York Times. And there were some quotes in this that kind of stood out to me. Okay. So you have Karen, the appropriately named Karen Svoboda, the executive director of Defense of Democracy, a liberal group that opposes conservative influence in public schools, argued that the partnerships amounted to a sort of state-sponsored imprimatur promoting one political viewpoint. Now, Karen also succinctly, insightfully said, "It's indoctrination, right?" She said in an interview, "They want to have it in every school." She described the Club America chapters as plug-and-play operations with heavier input from Turning Point rather than the grassroots impulse of students. The Club America handbooks, she noted, say that the national office provides, you guys are going to be shocked to hear this, the national office provides things such as supplies, posters, banners, sign-up cards, and apparel, and often offers activism grants of up to $1,000 for food and supplies. Oh my goodness, the horror of these organizations giving money for food to feed these people and supplies for posters. Oh, that, my friends, is sinister, according to Karen. Of course, they're going to want to start it up, right? Karen said. They're bribing them. They're like bribing them with food. Ugh. Oh my gosh, the horror. Karen also accused Turning Point of being a divisive force in schools, noting that Mr. Kirk, as you heard from the podcast, was critical of gay and transgender rights. A Turning Point club at a high school, she said, would be offensive and probably even a little scary for kids who were members of the queer community at school and families that are dealing with that. So, first of all, okay, Karen. All right, Karen. Okay, I see. So you guys get to invade public school for literal years and indoctrinate kids into your little cult, and it's all fine when you do that. But if we ever want to encourage, I don't know, our children to be more involved in knowing about their government, probably promote less of it. And maybe, I know, this is the most terrifying part, Karen, loving their country and being patriotic. Oh my gosh, you come from the devil. You come from the devil unless you're indoctrinating kids to be gay and retarded and communists. You must be the devil. Those indoctrinations are fine, but you can't teach your kid to love your country. That is not allowed, according to Karen. Now, as you know, I like to give everyone a chance, all right? A chance to come on and try to defend these batshit crazy viewpoints. So we reached out to Karen, who initially agreed to come on the show today, until she realized who she was agreeing to do it with. She did send us an email, and it's exactly what you would expect. She said, "Thank you for your invitation to appear on your program. After giving this further consideration and looking into the platform and its parent company, Blaze Media, I have decided to decline the invitation. After all, I'm not confident that this discussion would facilitate the type of effective, substantive conversation I'm looking to have. My priority is addressing the very serious issues of student and teacher harassment in a constructive manner. I have no interest in engaging in a debate where the goal is to further polarize these views or turn them into a culture war narrative, I appreciate your invitation, but I will be moving forward with other opportunities that align more closely with my focus on meaningful, solutions-oriented dialogue. And I just think it's just so incredibly ironic that the executive director of an organization called Defense of Democracy refuses to come on and defend anything, actually. Defend what? You can't defend your position at all, Karen? At all? By the way, pull that back up. Karen Svoboda, she, her. I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Karen, about Care Bear over here, I don't know what else to tell you. The executive director of Defense of Democracy can't actually defend anything. Anything. Pull this next one up. Yes. 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 A culture of dialogue is foundational to democracy. For democracy, talking is more important than agreeing. Conversation and democracy. Dewey's reminding us that democracy requires what's that, Karen? Conversation. Conversation. You won't have a conversation with me. But everyone else says if you care about democracy, you actually should have this conversation. That's kind of the whole point of democracy. You got to converse with each other. And if you're not willing to defend your batshit crazy views, I guess you don't care about democracy at all. Now, I would remind you that we do not have a democracy, but this is like your buzzword. You own the buzzword and you can't defend it at all. Now, while I was still digging around this liberal propaganda site, I decided to check out Karen's website too. Now, first of all, shitty website, Karen. Okay, you can do better. It's 2026. I don't think you're going to be able to defend democracy if you're still running Windows 95. So we're going to need you to upgrade. We're going to need you to invest in an actual website designer, take some better pictures, and try again. Now, you'll notice on the website, they have a bunch of partner organizations listed. So we were like, let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's see. Okay, so the Public School Defenders Hub actually took me to a website called Atheists United. Atheists United, Public School Defenders Hub, advocates for and defends accountable public education, ensuring all students have access to safe, inclusive, secular, quality learning. They urgently counter false narratives and anti-public education attacks by leveraging the power of diverse coalition action. Oh, well. They would never indoctrinate children. The New Jersey Public Education Coalition, one of the other ones. Okay, all right, what you got here? Well, it says they're a nonpartisan group which seeks to protect our public schools and communities from right-wing extremism, not left-wing extremism. They don't want to protect public schools from that. Apparently, there's a whole lot of right-wing extremism in public schools that this nonpartisan organization is very, very concerned with. Don't worry, they're still going to come out gay, retarded commies, but they won't love their country. And that is what Karen wants. Let's move over to the Queer Family Network. They actually brag about how they are indoctrinating people. They're bragging about indoctrinating people. Karen says they want to stop indoctrination. Karen, we have some questions because this organization provides tailored LGBTQ+. I notice you left out the I. You left out the I, you uninclusive bitch. You left out the I, and I don't see a 2 in there either, Karen. Okay? Get your shit together. They provide tailored, less inclusive LGBTQ plus trainings. Together, we have trained over 300 educators and school administrative staff in the Mid-Hudson Valley. Oh, okay. Not at all indoctrinating people. They're just providing LGBTQIA plus apostrophe S trainings for teachers to indoctrinate students into being in the gay cult. Now, this one, probably going to take the cake. The Queer Trans Project, okay? They hand out Build-A-Queer kits. She's very upset about the supplies and the posters and the gasp food from Club America. Meanwhile, she's supporting an organization that brings Build-A-Queer kits that includes everything from a variety of gender-affirming items like chest binders, breast forms, packing underwear, so girls can pretend like they have a little ding-a-ling, makeup bundles, and health bundles. Health bundles. By the way, get in quick. Apparently, they are so popular, they sell out all the time. That's that many people indoctrinating students. And you're gonna tell me your problem is Turning Point USA wanting to teach children about their constitution, about their country, to love their country, and hey, maybe we should have less government. Really? Really, Karen? You're gonna be supportive of Build-A-Queer kits, and you're gonna tell me, you're gonna lecture me? I'm just saying, Karen. You should have accepted my invitation. I would have let you speak your crazy nonsense for about 30 I would have given you 30 seconds of bliss before I mopped the floor with you. And it would have been a great 30 seconds, I think. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Now, I've got one more thing I need to get into with you guys, but we got to take a break. So we'll be right back. Senator John Cornyn is spiraling every day that he doesn't get that Trump endorsement. He is spiraling more and more. And today, we showed you yesterday, he's like, go away, go away. Today, he actually goes off on a reporter because he can't comprehend that anyone would not just fall in line and support him.
What do you have to say to the Americans who are questioning why President Trump should endorse you when many say that you've been vehemently against his agenda?
Do you speak for all these Americans? I don't understand.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Yeah.
Many people are asking this question. Do you have a response? I mean, you've been borderline pro-amnesty, red flag laws.
Are you being paid?
Anti-border
Are you
law.
being paid by the Paxton campaign?
No, I'm just a concerned American citizen representing millions of other Americans.
No, I think you're a paid influencer because none of that's true, and you know it.
Okay.
John, just stop. Just stop talking. If you can't come up with anything better than, are you being paid by the Paxton campaign? Bro, I hate on you for free. For free. I get paid $0 to tell the world what a scumbag you are. For free. You know what? I have headlined Paxton rallies. I've introduced him at his events. Not once have I taken a dime from them. I hate you for free. And so does she, and so does the rest of America, which is why you should retire before you get beat in a runoff, you rhino piece of shit. I rest my case. Good night.